Hello, everyone.
everyone.
We made peas.
Yeah, we have. Welcome to the Women's Cave, though.
Yes, welcome to the Women's Cave. Oh, we both got to say it.
Yay, that's exciting. That's exciting. I mean, you guys, I know it's been a while since we've been on, but, you know, holiday season and whatnot, so everyone was busy, and we had stuff to do, of course.
Yep, yeah. And one of them included eating lots of wonderful food.
I ate well. I slept well because, you know, we were jet lagged like I don't know what. And so I slept so hard. It was ugly. It was like drool. It was bad.
You're sharing that? That's normally stuff I share.
I know, which is weird.
Okay, you guys, I'm going to take this today. And I'm just going to simply, I just can't believe I just scratched my hair on.
Anyway, let's get moving.
I'm gonna take Jade's place today and be like, hey, you guys have to check us out. We were on London TV.
We were. So
on November the 25th.
Yeah, so it's Chrissy B show. So you go to YouTube, Chrissy B show, and you go to the well-being. We'll put the link. We'll put the link below. You guys just go on in there. We're 25 minutes and 15 seconds into the show, but we were still there, and we looked extra cute. We were like, yeah, beautiful.
This is what happens when you travel with your own makeup artist. You get to look adorable. Yeah, I'm so happy.
It's cool.
All right. Anyway, we should probably introduce ourselves.
I'm Jade.
And I'm Winona. And we remember to do that.
Yes, and we're the co-authors and co-founders of the And I Thought Ladies and the And I Thought series. And I thought divorce was bad, and I thought being grown up was easy, and I thought I could juggle it all, and I thought I did my journey alone.
By the way, this one just came out today to purchase.
Yes.
So if you want to be on the new hotness, you need to buy that.
That one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all of those are available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and AndWeThought.com. If you order it from AndWeThought.com, we will personalize your book for you.
If you can read that, that'll be great.
I know.
You know, I write like I'm a doctor. Yes. I wish I had these certificates and the degrees to go with it, but I got the handwriting. So whatever. That's close enough. What?
I said, that's what? Oh, nothing. I said nothing.
She said it was a lie in the middle of something. What?
Okay.
Anyway, not important.
You're not here to see us. You're here to see our guests.
We are here today, and we are introducing a new segment that will happen every month. I'm so excited. So we got our first, established guest person.
Yay!
Mine is the co-host. So this is Miss Tara Woods Turner. Yes, I actually introduced someone. It's weird. I'm sitting here going,
like a real show host. So yes, Miss Tara Woods Turner, and she would be doing our segment on book reviews. Well, this month she's going to kick it off with reviewing our book.
Because I'm narcissistic.
But also she's going to be reviewing many other books and then inviting, hopefully, some of the people on with her. So we can talk to the authors.
So that way there'll be three little squares at the bottom of this, and it's going to make me sad because my face will get smaller. But just remember what this looks like, okay? This is what it looks like when it's 2 squares. I look amazing. Okay, moving on.
Yes, we're going to let that go.
Today, Tara Wood Turner will be reviewing the book, And I Thought I Did My Journey Alone. Still needing hope, prayers, and positive thoughts for this book.
Tuesday's the day, y'all.
Tuesday's the day. All right. Ms. Turner, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, ladies. Hello, audience. My name is Tara Woods Turner, and I am the author of the Beyond Parenting series. The first book out is Beyond Good Manners, How to Raise a Sophisticated Child. And I've got 2 more books coming out spring next year. Beyond Good Grades, How to Prepare Your High Schooler for College Life, and Beyond Chicken Nuggets, Easy Sophisticated Meals for Children. So I'm so happy to be here today. And you know what? 3 little screens at the bottom, that's good. That's doable. Smaller screens, smaller pores. So that works.
It does.
That's true.
It does.
That's so true. I love you for that.
Yeah. Counter narcissism right out.
You got to make your lemonade out of your lemons.
Yes. Thank you.
But so happy to be here today with you ladies. I can't believe you have the energy that you guys do. You've been traveling. You're my little globetrotters.
We try. We can't always live up to that though. But we surely do try.
We're getting old, y'all. I mean, 23 be wearing on you.
24. Now,
Woo! You don't have the energy like you used to have in your 18.
I found that out when I was in Barcelona, and it was 6 hours ahead of us. And the plane landed, and I was like, I don't have that energy to keep on going out.
Well, I did see the clip of the Chrissy B show, and it was amazing, by the way, as usual. Job well done. But did you go straight from London to Barcelona?
Absolutely.
Oh,
no other way.
I'm a fan of London weather, so I got the plane as soon as I could in the morning to get out of there. Yeah,
it was nice though. It was sunny in Spain.
No, it was sad because the first day we landed, it was sunny, and then the next day we woke up and we had a full day. It was cloudy.
That's about right. Yeah.
That is.
So the golden pair.
It's a good thing you did the UK first, because all that delicious Spanish sunshine, that
and food.
And
right.
We ate so well.
Yeah, like I love how you skip right over that, Jade.
I did. I was like, let me jump it. Let me just what?
If you want to hear one of the subjects I just talked about, you should probably go to our YouTube channel, and we just put up the London interview of the ladies that we did in London. It was so fun.
That was fun.
Yes, very, very good interview.
That subject.
Yes.
Of Jade just nicely jumped over.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, not important. Tara.
So let's get into the good stuff. Let's discuss this.
Before we start, I got one question to ask. Are you going to review your own books on the show? If it were me, I would.
Well, I guess I could. I'm open to that. I would love to pull in books that sort of tie into some of the themes in my own book, but definitely it's I will say that because they're parenting books, I have no problem making it part of the bigger conversation we're having about how we raise our children, because it is that important. So
we'll do a comparison show. Like, this book is over here, and then this book. How do they compare?
We'll have a little split screen. We'll have a split screen. So I'll take one for the team for a good cause. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. I'm sorry. Let's get back to what you were
going to be
doing.
professional, maybe one day. No, that's not going to happen.
That television show next year, I'm still going to be like,
no professionalism.
You know what? You ladies are two things that I'm fun and classy. So we can do it all. We can have fun. We can keep it real. And we can talk about a great book.
Sounds good. Okay, great book. I'm sorry. Great book. Let's talk about it. What did you think?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm a huge fan of the End I Thought series. And again, with this book being the fourth book in the series, it just naturally shows the progression and the maturity that you would expect. They never disappoint. I love the subject matter of this one. If anything, I would say it's sort of coming full circle. The first book, I'll be honest with you, the first book was very raw. It was very emotional. It was painful. It was dealing with sort of the epicenter of those emotional crises that we have to untangle once we're out of the immediate situation. There's always that period of reflection, like, oh my God, did this just happen? Did he just say that to me? Did he just do that to me? Did this really happen to my relationship or my marriage? But then with time and distance comes an increased ability to look back and say, okay, the totality of it was devastating, but let's break this down. Let's look at the moving parts and let's see, what went wrong here, what went wrong there, what led up to it. It's sort of very healing. But just like with actually losing someone, there are stages to grief, even in relationships when they end, as you know. And I feel like each book has sort of covered a different stage of that process. And this book, what I loved the most about it was there was still a lot of pain in this book as well. Because just because the event is over, the emotional roller coaster is still in full effect. But there's also a sense of reflection, of moving away. Your attention moves away from the event back towards self, back towards yourself. And I saw a lot of that in this book. And it made it not as much painful as more of a triumph. Sort of, I did this. Wow, I did this. I made it through this. Let me look around and see, well, what else can I do? Who else am I? So it was very encouraging. I think the word I would use to describe it is cathartic. It was a very cathartic book. Again, not so much about the pain of loss or poor relationships or being disillusioned and seeing those perfect dreams we set up for ourselves sort of fade away into this newness that we call reality, but also realizing that reality versus dreams, it doesn't have to be a competition. Reality can be just as amazing as those dreams that we dreamed when we were 17 and dancing around, you know, in our rooms. So just, again, the maturity level just really, I was like, yes, I really loved it for that reason, especially.
Yay, we were acting mature. That's a lie. It was probably other ladies in there. There was 9 other ladies. They were acting mature, and we were acting silly.
Yeah.
As always.
I'm always silly.
Let's just talk about.
How did you feel about? Oh, I'm sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
I'm being gracious too.
I know she is being gracious. So, did you understand what we were trying to do with the traveler in the book?
Oh, specifics. Well, actually, there were 2 poems that touched on traveling or travelers, and I wondered. Before I answer, I wonder, was that done, because there are different authors in the book, you know, as you know, multi-authors. Was that done together or was it coincidence?
Oh, yeah,
I think it was coincidence.
Most of the stuff that happens in our books are coincidence.
It is.
I will speak, if you remind me, I will speak on that momentarily, because I wanted to make a point about some of the similarities between the poems and the coincidences. But anyway, but to get back to your question, to me, again, it I think what it said to me, or what it brought home to me, was the full circle aspect of it. I know the poem was not literal in the sense that you're going from point A to point B, but just that emotional or spiritual sense of progressing in life and moving from not one place to place, but from one realization to the next realization, sort of in an emotional way. So that's how I took it. And also, there was it wasn't a major part of the poem, but there was a part that made me feel like it was focused on gratitude. Like there was a sense of gratitude there that, personally, that's the part that sort of stuck out for me the most. But definitely about progressing from one emotional place to the other.
We was definitely trying to say to be thankful for what you have and the people that you have in your life. Exactly. Because no matter if they're not the best people in your life or they are the best people, be thankful, because sometimes those are the people that push you to do the most.
I'm gonna go all the way over here to end. I thought being grown up was easy, but number 4 on 25 things you should know before you're 25. It says one of the things is that friends can become enemies, and enemies can make you a greater person.
Yes.
So no matter who you meet, like in lesson 4 in this book about meeting people, no matter who you meet and where you meet them, you have to be thankful, because they are going to become part of who you are.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to become part of who you are, or where you're going to find yourself. You're going to need to grow, or something like that. Anyway,
no diamonds without fire.
Right.
No sharp knife without a stone. You know, the things that push against us are also polishing us. So I think that touched on that perfectly. That was actually one of my favorites. I think my absolute, well, I'm torn. Okay, I think my favorite was Old College Try. I think I read it like
right now.
I think I read it like 5 times.
I'm in love with that poem. I'm in love with how
it. Is it not? It is not everything. I was like, this is. I'm here for this. This is why I'm here. I loved it. I read it so many times. And also the very last poem in the book, the one that ended it, I was like, this is amazing. It tied in different. It tied everything in perfectly, but it actually used snippets from from some of the poems, and it was sort of like this amazing goodbye. I was like, this.
My title deed or And I Left.
And I left.
Yeah.
You know what? That was powerful. That was amazing. It sort of tied everything up in a nice, neat bow. And by pulling different lines from some of the poems that were sprinkled throughout the book, it made it so much more. I can't even, you know what, I'm a talker, you know me, and I can't even really describe it. It sort of encapsulated the book, I think. And it was more of okay, now take this and go with it, run with it, work it. And I was like, this is amazing. It ended so beautifully. I think it was the best ending of all the books. Even though that biscuit recipe was on point. Don't get me wrong, but I thought that was beautiful.
Great for every
case.
I thought that was beautiful. But Old College Try was just, I don't know. It just.
So now I'm going to be like, what did you like about Old College? Because that's one of my favorite poems in this whole book.
I loved it. I loved the fact that the author it was sort of this amazing combination of vulnerability and defiance. And that, I don't know, that really spoke to me. Of course, and not even so much it reminded me of my own college days. It was more me in my 30s. But it'll hit you where you live no matter what. But just, again, the speaker was, again, this mix of vulnerability and wanting to be the one for this romantic, partner in her life. And also a sort of a sense of defiance, and to me, my interpretation was, it wasn't really, she was battling with herself, but against people who were questioning, well, why do you need to be this to this person? Why do you need to change? And I felt like her reaction was, okay, this is about self-improvement. Yes, it's to be, everything to this partner, but she really has told herself that she's doing it for herself to improve and to grow. Now, the irony is, as she begins to realize that this relationship is not ideal, that no matter how much she changes and tries to become the perfect woman, sometimes it's never quite enough, and we've all been there. But without her embracing or taking ownership of the decision to improve, she probably would not have had the strength to realize, wait a minute, maybe I'm better than this. Maybe I'm actually better than you. Maybe I've outgrown my need to please you. And I thought that was amazing. I was blown away by that.
Okay, knowing that I'm a survivor of domestic abuse and that sort of stuff, I love the last line of that, you have your master's degree and now she's asking for so much more, and all I have to say to you is give her that old.
I know! I loved it. I loved it. Yes. I was like okay. I mean, so it just, again, it was hitting on all cylinders. I just thought it was amazing. There was so much sort of packed into it. Again, just the defiance and the vulnerability, the self-deception and the amazing self-awareness. It just, I don't know. I loved it. It was my favorite.
I love that poem.
Yes, it was really good.
I was Scarlett, you did it. I was like, Alexis, y'all did it. Y'all did it. Like, y'all did it. You bought it. You put it down on paper. How you did it, I don't know. You did it.
And I guess I'm sort of, as a writer myself, I'm always interested in, when I talk to other authors, is the process such that you find yourself in, we call it the zone, where everything just comes out, raw and pure? Or is it a process where you are making a conscious decision, like, I'm going to tackle this and I'm going to do it in the best way I know how, which is, with my words? So is it just sort of this, like, come to Jesus moment where it's just all coming out regardless? Or is it, okay, this is how I choose to deal with these feelings or these memories?
Since this book was actually written in 2 days.
It wasn't written in 2 days. It was written in like 2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, this one took a minute. But
a minute. 2 weeks, she says.
2.5 weeks. It took a while. Yeah. The one behind us took about an evening and something, but anyway, that's not important. And it shows.
Ghostwriters. I'm gonna hire ghostwriters.
No.
So we were actually there it's like in the room, but we were there with like Alexis and Scarlett.
They started putting it together, and it was just more that
they started talking about experiences.
Their experiences, like, were kind of similar, and then they were talking about what happened, and they were like,
and then they started rhyming.
They were like, this is a poem. It was just kind of interesting because that's how a lot of our books like start and happen, and how we meet a lot of the authors is from talking, from experiences, from sharing, being around, and people are like, oh my goodness. And hence why the book's name is And I Thought I Did My Journey Alone, because there's so many people out there that think they're the only ones that have went through this or going through this, but they're not alone. There are actually other people out there that can support you through.
Exactly. That's such an organic way to create. And I think what you said touched on something that, in my opinion, makes the book so powerful. You may think, well, physically, this has never happened to me. I can't identify with this. I sympathize, but I can't empathize. And then you read a book like the And I Thought books, and you realize, wait a minute, abuse happens in such small ways. Maybe I've never ended up in the hospital or having, to call the police, but I've been taken for granted. I've been disrespected. I've been made to feel less than by someone who is determined to bring me down so that they can stand a little taller. So it's everything from those small abuses to what we know as classical physical domestic abuse, but it's everything in between. And I think a book like this, helps women to understand, wait a minute, this is often how it starts. And then you realize that and you're like, well, this is something that I absolutely can identify with, which is important, because when we look at domestic violence victims, if we don't see ourselves, if we can't see that, not that could be me, but in many ways that is me. You are me, I am you. Then it sets us back so far, because then we can't affect change.
Exactly.
And this has got to stop. This has got to stop. And I think the book is so important in helping with that message, because these are women that you feel like these are your aunts, your girlfriends, your sisters, and look how prevalent it is. It's real, and it's them, but it's also me, it's you. So I think the book is very important in that aspect. Like you said, I thought this only happened to me.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So I'm so glad. I don't even know how the first conversation got started, but look what it's turned into.
It's very interesting. I mean, they're like, how do you do this? And I said, I don't know. But it's more, the conversations are born like, they're just born out of conversations. The book titles, everything is born out of conversations. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's born out of eating a meal with people. Maybe not even people just
people you meet,
people your friends, or your friends' uncle, aunt, or something. Like, you just come, you eat, you hang out, and then you're like, oh my goodness, you too.
Can you write it in your own words?
No, that is so important. And again, and we don't just keep writing. That's all I have from my heart. Just keep, and we don't want to normalize the experience.
Right.
But we absolutely need to normalize the fact that we're having this conversation. Yeah. Because that can make the difference between a woman, being afraid to speak up. I mean, two women could be discussing the book just because it's a great book. And that could lead to an opportunity for someone to be honest about sharing a similar experience. Next thing you know, they're getting the help they need, or at least the social support they need. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm going to put you guys on the spot. I have a question for you.
Yes, absolutely.
And feel free to speak on behalf of, or at least be willing to, put this to your co-authors. But have you ever, or would you consider writing a book like this, but for the teen or young adult demographic?
I'm sure.
Because
Scarlett works for the Department of Social Services, mm-hmm. and so I'm pretty sure she would love to do that, and she has her own program. And so
actually, it's at ScarlettOurBlack.com, and it is for domestic abuse survivors and the children of domestic abuse survivors.
Men.
Oh, amazing!
And so, in the end, I thought ladies work with Scarlett R. Black to make the program happen.
But we would definitely write one for.
Hence, why we got the award for advocacy for abuse victims.
Yay! Oh, let's talk about that.
No. We're here for the book.
Well, it's
taking us back.
But it's just we got it because a lot of people do not deal with the kind of abuse we deal with. They do it with the physical abuse, and they don't understand that financial abuse is a thing, and so is emotional abuse. And a lot of times, the financial starts way before emotional starts, but then the financial brings you down to where you are, like where you think you're not worth anything, because society tells you if you don't have money, you're worth nothing.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you're working and you're a working person and you get a paycheck, but the person that's abusing you, man or woman, takes your money, well then you feel, I can't even buy a pair of shoes.
And
right.
And then you get trapped because you can't leave.
Because everything costs money.
Right.
So then they can start the physical abuse, because we all know if someone had walked up to you and punched you in the face and told you were nothing, man or woman, doesn't matter if a man or woman hit you, a man or a woman is going to defend themselves. So it has
with words or with action.
Systematic
right
down of a person in order to get to physical abuse and accepting it.
Absolutely. It's a part of the isolation process.
Right.
Exactly.
Because gas costs money and all that other stuff.
I'm taking us full circle right
we're
back
done.
to the book.
Back to
so
the book.
I have two questions and a surprise for you. Surprise, I don't want to mess it up. And I have a vanity question if we have time. But my two questions, number one was, why did you feel that the book could have been set up differently, or did the setup help with the going through the book?
Because I am so familiar with and a big fan of the other books in the series. I like the consistency. I like the fact that it wasn't a huge departure from the writing style in which the other books were created and produced. And because I think that's what I've come to expect when I read one of the And I Thought books, it's sort of comforting to have a similar format. So I would say that to change the way the book is structured, there might be creative reasons to do it, but I just say if it's not broke,
don't fix it.
Right. And it's, again, with the And I Thought books is what you come to expect, and it works for me. I like it. I liked it. I wouldn't change it.
Oh, question 1B was, we added the Traveler. That the Traveler was added, the stories of the Traveler. What did you think of that? Like having one individual traveler go throughout the book instead of just because we normally have lessons and a quotation, but then we did lessons, a quotation, and then we added a traveler story, like what a traveler sees, knows, does, that sort of thing.
Well, I think it gave a sense of chronology to the book, sort of like this thread that you never quite let go of as you made your way through the book, which I thought was very clever. Even when other voices, by voices I mean literary voices, were present in the pieces. I think the best way to describe it would be like a motif, something similar to a theme, but a lot more nuanced, a little more subtle. And I think it gave the book sort of, again, like I said, a sense of progression, literally traveling, literally progression, and until you quote unquote arrive at the shore. And there was one passage that it spoke about how grateful you are when you do quote land.
Yeah.
And I said that is far too beautiful. That's far too symbolic to be coincidental. So I thought it worked very well for the book and the overall theme and tone of the book. I liked it. It was a very apt literary device. So again, sort of a motif that worked well with the subject matter. I liked it.
Well, thank you. I love that answer to the
Thank
question
you.
about the traveler. And
excuse me for my coughing. You know that I catch colds very easily, and I'm traveling all about, and so of course I have a cold. Of course,
she's fragile.
Yeah.
She's delicate.
Also, that was actually my question too. Now that I thought about it,
Yeah, it was.
People's question too. But anyway,
onward to the surprise.
Onward to the surprise. Okay.
We love surprises.
All right.
So I'm going to read an excerpt of the book, if you don't.
That we never do. We never do that.
We never really do that. So here we go. And the winner is.
Oh my God!
You can't have me.
Oh my God!
And you're there. And you don't know how to get me. You can't know what I know. You can't feel what I feel. And you don't do it like I do. It has nothing to do with my smile, my style, or my swagger. I give myself permission to admit that I'm better than you. It has nothing to do with your pride, your plans, or your desires. So no neck rolls, no finger snaps, no ultimatums. Just a lovely note on my best stationery, spritz with my Jean Patou. You're worth that much at least. And I forgive myself for cheating myself because of you. And you loved me that much harder because you knew it too, praying I wouldn't open my eyes. So this is my leaving, sometimes weary, strained, to the breaking point with all of your trying. It's no small thing that I'm standing here today straight, whole, and pure. My heart beating wildly once I've acknowledged this. No one more surprised than me. You can't have me. And I realize, finally, I will be so much more than just fine.
That poem.
Oh my God.
Has sold so many books.
Oh my God.
That poem is one of the best poems in the entire book.
So,
at every reading, we read that poem.
Yes, we do. It is the ending poem. And if I may ask my vanity question when you're done.
Oh my God. I don't know if I can answer. I don't even know what to say. First of all, the way you read, I was like, did I write that?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And when I read it, I was like, oh, no, she didn't. With her fingers, I was like, yes, no neck rolls. I was like, no neck rolls.
That was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you.
No problem.
I
guess I should have surprised you live.
Oh my God.
It's okay, you guys, because literally, we love that poem. The group loves that poem. All 11 ladies, all 10 of ladies love that poem because it's just like, you know what? When you recognize finally, you will be so much more than just fine. So much. Then that's when you know.
You're ready.
You're ready. It's time to go.
Like
it's time. It's time to go. It's time to leave that job. It's time to leave those dead weight friends. Whatever it is that is holding you back. Will you recognize finally that it's not even worth fighting for?
You're good.
You're good. And you're going to be fine.
And like the Traveler, the last part in the Traveler, where he says that once he came ashore and he finished his journey, I see it as a he, by the way, that he was like, oh, there's so much more to see.
Right.
So once you recognize that you're fine, you've come ashore, and now you're recognizing that there's just so much more to see.
That was my favorite. I thought that was the part that was so beautiful. The coming ashore, it says so much. And all of these stories and these poems, they tie in together in such an unusual way. If you didn't know, you really wouldn't know that different people contributed. And that's the powerful coincidence that I was referring to earlier. It's amazing, and I'm so honored, and I'm so happy to have been able to be even a small part of it. I'm so emotional right now. Oh my God. You guys know me. I'm such a wimp, but that was like so moving. I have so much gratitude to both of you for
you
that.
Said you forgive yourself for cheating yourself. I was like, isn't that like a woman's journey? Isn't that like a human existence? When you finally look at yourself and be like, I know that I have done this the last 5 years, and it was not good for me. This dead-end job, this abusive relationship, this house that was a bad idea, whatever it was. And you're like, you know what? I forgive myself for making this mistake.
Yes.
And you finally get to that point.
Yes, that aha moment.
Just fine.
Which is why this book, it's to me, it's so appropriate because, as I said, you know, I mean, I was with you guys from the end. I thought book one, and you get to a point where you move beyond the event, beyond the mistake, beyond the disappointment, beyond the letdown, beyond the person who hurt you, beyond the part of yourself that you know you let yourself down. You move past it, and you come back to the center, like, you know what? I give myself permission to love myself again. And it may sound like a cliche, it may sound trite, but when that moment happens, you feel like you've been reborn. And that moment for every person that experiences it should be celebrated in word, in text, in poem, in song, in chocolate. So yeah. So
now my vanity question feels like it's just gonna run too long.
It is, but we're gonna ask a vanity question
anyway.
Okay, vanity question.
Actually, another quick reading. I hope I'm not gonna probably read the whole thing. Do you remember the poem? This is on my title deed.
Titled?
This is on my title deed.
Oh, this is on my title. Yes, I do. Yes.
How do you feel that worked with the book? And then I wanted to know about lesson 5. How you felt at the end of lesson 5, and those are my vanity questions.
Okay, lesson 5. You'll have to jog my memory for that one because somehow I'm thinking I want to talk about lesson 4, but this is on my title deed. I liked it because it was strong. And that's one. I'm so glad you asked me about that one because that's one of the ones that stuck out for me. It was very unapologetic, and you know we're Southern ladies, all 3 of us, Virginia, North Carolina. Hello. So our strength is often subtle. It's muted sometimes, especially the way our parents raised us. But there was something very straightforward and strong about title deed. And I had to read it twice. I said, how much of this can I identify with? And how much of this, because some things we read are a mirror. Some things we read are windows. So I said, am I looking in a mirror or am I looking through a window? And it sort of was the part of myself that the part of yourself you think you know very well. I would have said, okay, this is a window. I'm not really, this isn't as much my journey. What can I get from this? But the more I read it, or actually the second time I read it, I was like, no, this is a mirror. I'm starting to recognize myself in this piece. Again, I like the strength of it. It was bold. It was bold. And the writing style was different from some of the other poems.
What we were trying to do with that, I don't know, you probably didn't catch it. And that's what we were concerned about. So I wanted to get that's why it's a vanity question.
Vanity, you guys.
Yes. So like, it's when it says the titles are the beginning of the journey, and then we have Shiner, Not For Me, A Note to Our Scared Self, A Quarter Life Crisis, Paradise View, Relapse, The Sage I Met, The Words Amongst the Bourbon, and This Is on My Title Deed. They're all titles in the book.
Okay. That, I like it.
Yeah.
I know.
We wrote a poem.
I'm going to need extra chocolate now, but I like it. We
wrote a poem that put the titles of the book, like throughout every section, all the way up to where you were, as the titles of the poems in the poem, in the book.
In the text.
Right. So that it became, this is your title because you finished the book. Therefore,
it's your journey.
It's now your journey. And then the last line of the title deed was, find your journey. It's time. You are entitled to it. So
now that's the only
tie in with the back end of the book about the traveler finding their journey.
Okay, and now the end. Okay, I feel a little bit better. I like the ending. I said, oh, I get it. It's sort of a play on words. I said, okay, I like it. You've earned it. You're entitled to it. This is your deed. You've paid for it. You own it. It's in your name. I said, oh, I like this. I like it.
Exactly.
So I get 1 out of 3 gold stars for that one.
No, you got more. Look, it's what you saw.
It was supposed to be subtle, and
what you see.
We went way too subtle.
But also what you see.
I'll go under the bus because I read it twice.
No, absolutely.
I should have picked it up the second. I really liked it though. I was like, I want to read this again.
Because the journey, your journey, whatever journey you take, even if it's taking this journey from this book, you're entitled to finding your place.
I love it.
Or knowing that there is no such thing as your place and just always searching for it and enjoying the search.
Exactly. The journey from the progression. Loving it. Oh, I love it. Now I got to read it again and I'm going to be like, okay, I got you now. I got you. I'm coming for you.
So lesson 5 was, we have directions for a reason, and it's not just to tell you where to go.
Where to go.
Okay.
Okay.
All those we left behind, we see you, we miss you, and we love you. Jade, to my late, great, and beloved.
That one was very similar to, there was another one, and I want to say it was called Almost. No, I don't remember the exact title. It was called No One or Almost No One. Basically, I'll just sort of paraphrase it, but it was saying that it was dealing with grief and loss, and it was saying, I understand when you tell me that you're sorry for my loss, but do you know what it's like to hear the car pull into the driveway and knowing that they're not coming into the house, they're not getting out of the car, or those last memories, those last moments that you'll hold on to forever because maybe you did or maybe you didn't know, but they were going to be the last memories. And I have your shoes to fill, and a part of me feels like I can't completely fill those shoes, but I am going to try. I am going to be the person that I know you would have wanted me to be, because that's my legacy. Those 2 poems were very similar, and for reasons that
we've all lost, and yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
No, it's
lesson 5 move you. That's all I wanted to know.
I think that
moved you. We're good.
Yeah, thing came from, as you know, a lot of people, they know that we have all suffered. I mean, as humans, we all suffer a great loss, and that is the ladies trying to honor the people that they know. And and knew that they wanted them to be everything that they could be it an uncle, be it a mother, be it a father, be it a best friend, be it the neighbor next door that used to give you cookies when you were a young child and tell you you're going to be great one day, be it those people,
cousins
that pushed you and is no longer here to see your journey completed. Yeah. You're not forgotten.
Exactly.
It felt like
what pushes us.
Like a love letter.
Yeah, it's what pushes us every second
hour
of the day.
Because we are now your legacy, and we are now your tower.
Right. Because that is what you wanted us to be. And I don't normally go like this, but I'll be darned if we do not live up to what you wanted.
Yeah.
Because that is how we can show our love, that we have not forgotten you.
Have never will. It never will. So.
Okay, my vanity questions are over, and I'm asking. Well, I've shocked you to like no words. Now you're crying. This is not good.
But you guys out there, we are silly, and we try not to deal with very hard things.
Which is hilarious, because we keep writing hard books.
Hard books. I guess we don't deal with them in public, but we do. And when we sit down at our computers or our journals, because I have a journal, and we write it down. I guess that's when we deal with them. But I just want you guys out there to know that, as we even say on the back of the book,
which I'm about to read to you guys.
That Winona's about to read, and then I'll finish my statement.
Okay, so this says we have been discussing the book, and I Thought I Did My Journey Alone, a compilation available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and through us at AndWeThought.com. And I'm going to do this because I think we're going to do this every time. Just read the back of the book so you know what it's about, in case you fast forward it to the end. So the back of this book says, "Dear Traveler, this is the story of 11 ladies spanning 4 generations of life, be it alone, with a partner, friend, intimate lover, or a random person they met along the way. Follow their journey spanning through 4 books as they take a look around and find out where they are in life. Please take their words and find your pathways within their mistakes, achievements, and losses. Happy trail, the And I Thought ladies."
So, as I was going to say, you guys know that we are out here, we are doing this, but we are wishing you the most happy trails as you try to come into your own. As we try to come into our own, we're hoping that you wish it right back to us.
Yeah, especially if, you can wish it on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. We would appreciate that.
Yes.
But you guys know, as we always say, wisdom is all around you. If
you're open to finding it and accepting it. So peace and love from Tara, Winona,
and Jade.
Bye-bye, you guys.
Bye.